Welcome back. Do you think it's too soon to book your holiday travel? We have with us Jeanenne Diefendorf, who is the travel insider. She's going to tell us that it's not too early to book our holiday travel. Hi, Jeanenne. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
So what are you saying? You think that even now we should be thinking about Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's?
We really should. I mean, typically we don't start looking at prices for the holiday travel season until late September, early October, but this year is a bit of an exception with some of the instability that we've been seeing with the airlines and some of the capacity cuts that they've been making. It's just a really good bet to start looking at what prices are now for the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. And if you see a price that you're comfortable with, my advice is to go ahead and jump on that.
And are there restrictions as far as cancellation notices and things like that?
Well, with regard to some of the capacity cuts that we've seen from the airlines, I mean, certainly that is something that travelers, especially in some of the smaller markets, have to worry about if airlines pull some planes out of those markets. Unfortunately, in today's travel environment, that's just something that travelers have to deal with. Now, as a rule of thumb, the airlines really are obligated to either put you on another flight, or if they don't have any other flights to put you on, they do issue refunds to travelers who are in that unfortunate situation. But, you know, as far as pricing goes in general, we're seeing that prices are a bit higher than they were for the holidays already this year, which is, you know, why we're recommending that travelers start looking at those and considering how much they're going to be and how much they can save by traveling on some of those off-peak days.
Well, and are there better days to book your travel than others? For instance, you said off-peak days. What would those be?
Well, really, you need to consider when you're booking your travel, especially for the holiday weekend, you want to make sure that you're traveling on the off-peak days. So for Thanksgiving, for example, that Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and the Sunday coming back from the weekend, those are not only the busiest travel days of the Thanksgiving weekend, they're a couple of the busiest travel days of the entire year. So if you could avoid traveling on those days when the majority of holiday travelers are heading home, and perhaps leave on Thanksgiving morning and come back on Monday morning, you will not only avoid the crowds and the hassle involved with the crowded airports, but you can oftentimes save a decent amount of money on your airline ticket by going on those softer days when there are less travelers in the airports.
And less likelihood that your flight might be canceled.
That's exactly right. Actually, to that point, another good rule of thumb when you're traveling over the holidays is get going early, book an early morning flight. That way, if your flight does get canceled, you do have a much better chance of getting on another flight the same day and not being stuck overnight with all of the hungry and tired travelers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and we're hearing too about the new charges for luggage and that type of thing. So do you have any recommendations for that?
Well, we are seeing a lot of extra fees, everything from luggage to paying for drinks and food and pillows and blankets. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. The best thing that you can do as a traveler is to pack light. And it's as simple as that. Pack light, get everything in a carry-on bag that you can get through security and put in the overhead. It will save you at least $50 per trip for those extra luggage costs.
Pack light and carry a big credit card. Because you can always buy what you need.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, even for families especially, pack some snacks. You can take food through the security. You just can't take, you know, liquids through security, but you could take snacks, take them through security, take them on the plane with you. It's a lot less expensive than, you know, having to buy the meals that they charge you for on the planes.
Well, that's true. Plus, you can take what you know you like.
Absolutely.
I used to get a little insulted when they offered me pretzels instead of peanuts on a plane.
Well, and a lot of times if you're sitting on a tarmac and you haven't taken off, you don't usually get fed till you're actually up in the air. So it can just be handy to have those, especially if you have small kids, because you can pull them out when you need to.
Well, and that's a really good point, because traveling with kids is challenging enough, let alone with all the other aggravations that we can have. So I think that's a very good point, to take snacks along for the kids, keeps them occupied and off your back.
Yeah, certainly.
How about, is it better to book your flight online, or is it better to book your flight through the airline?
Well, you know, actually, if you call a lot of the airlines now, if you actually purchase a ticket over the phone directly with the airlines, many of them actually charge you a service charge to do that because they have to pay for the cost of their call center. So it can really be advantageous to book your travel online, and you get a lot of great services when you book online. Sites like Orbitz offer our alerts that will alert you if your flight's delayed or if you have gate changes. So I think that booking online is a great way to go, and it's also a really great way to compare all of the prices. You have all of the different airlines and all of the different flight times and prices in front of you, so you can really make an educated decision.
Right, and I think many of our travelers are becoming very comfortable with online booking.
Yeah, and I mean the key really is a lot of the online travel sites try to make them very easy to use so that you don't have to be a website expert to go on and use these. So they really are user friendly, and once you've used them a couple times, I think most travelers do get very comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jeanenne, I really appreciate all this information, and we'll just remind everybody they need to book now.
Great, thanks for having me.
Thank you, and we'll be back with more.